Okay, let the record show that there is no ice in my iced latte. And you know what? We will live. Hey friends, it's me, Amy Rebecca, your internet bestie for all things personal development, intentional living and dream chasing. This video is coming to you quite a bit later than anticipated because it was the Galaxy pageant last weekend and I had the most incredible time. Oh my gosh, it was just a whirlwind of emotions. Loved every single second of it, apart from the 5-minute period where I got very overwhelmed and had to go hyperventilate in the shower. But other than that, 10 out of 10 every single moment. But off of the back of that, this whole week I have been completely and utterly drained, mentally, physically, and of course financially. Y'all, it is grim. The monetary situation following that weekend makes me want to put whiskey in my coffee. So today we're going to sit down, we're going to do a deep dive into everything I spent last month. We are going to try and reclaim some control by doing some major damage control for my budget for this month. I'm going to shake up my side hustle challenge a little bit, and yeah, we're just gonna sip our coffee, enjoy, talk finances. Let's go. So as you can see, and as is probably surprising to literally no one, I did go over budget in March. Only a little bit. I did go £47.41 over budget. I started cash stuffing last year, although technically it's not cash stuffing anymore because I don't do it with physical cash. I do it online in my banking app, and I do it for all different kinds of eventualities, and for some bizarre, deluded reason, I did not do any cash stuffing for the pageant, and so I was trying to just grasp any and all pennies that I could find, like at the last minute, to wrangle this together. The fact that I'm only £47.41 over budget, considering that, I think it's not great. It could be significantly worse. One thing that I did end up adding into my income last month was £72.17 from selling clothes on Vinted, and because I was purchasing clothes throughout the month of March, and I have this goal for 2025 where I want to be able to fund all of my clothing purchases through selling on Vinted, I withdrew that Vinted balance and added it to my income. So let's actually take a look at what I spent and what the heck happened here. So groceries, I gave myself the budget of £10 and I actually spent £0. I'm gonna say it once again because anytime I don't say it, someone's in the comments like, how could you not spend any money on food? When I say groceries, I'm talking about top-up groceries, the things that are outside of the agreed upon meal plan that is already pre-budgeted for. Eating out, I budgeted £100 because why? Why? I should start making notes about why I budget the way I do, because I'm always shocked when I go back and look at my budget. I'm like, don't remember why I did that. Anyway, I budgeted £100 and I only spent £30.98. I budgeted £50 for petrol. I actually didn't put any petrol into my car this month because, okay, you know how I told you that I very recently learned that I potentially have ADHD? I have to wait on an assessment for that. But I was like, oh no, couldn't be me. ADHD, I don't relate. Nothing about me says ADHD. I lost my keys for 30 days, 30 full days. I couldn't spend any money on petrol because I couldn't get in the car. So that money is just cash stuffed. It's set aside for petrol at a future date. I spent £25 on my car insurance, well, £24.99. I spent £30 on gifts. Health, I budgeted the regular £35 for my contact lenses. And then I spent an extra little bit on some hay fever tablets and beauty treatments, budgeted £50 and spent £60, but that's okay because I was able to take that little overage out of my cash stuffing pot. Clothing, again, look, I budgeted £0, I spent £45.36, but I was able to cover that with my Vinted balance. This is why I feel good at the moment, because I am preparing for eventualities, and that's something that I didn't used to do before. And that has been the biggest game changer for me from a budgeting standpoint, is just preparing for eventualities. Cash stuff. Have sinking funds, stuff money away for eventualities, upcoming events, have different pockets of money that you can draw on, and then that stops you from going over budget unexpectedly because, oh, something popped up and I didn't account for it. Makeup, I budgeted £25 and I spent £37.07. which doesn't surprise me. I'm doing my big makeup use up. You guys know this. The goal is don't buy any new makeup until you've used up what you have. I quite frankly had to buy 3 different foundations this month because I got a spray tan. I could not figure it out. Every time I thought I got the right match, I'd put it on my face, it wasn't working, I was mixing all the colours together, so yeah. Now I'm like the woman who has 50,000 foundations again. I'm back to the starting point. That's a problem for a different day. Skincare budgeted 0, spent 0. Haircare budgeted 0 and spent £12.23. Again, last minute pageant panic. Toiletries budgeted 0, spent 0. Books budgeted 0, spent 0. Takeaways budgeted 0. And what do you know? I did in fact come home from the pageant, immediately put my pajamas on and order a large Domino's. I regret not a single thing. It was the best Domino's I've ever eaten in my life. Good grief. Hobbies, I budgeted 238 and that was, Lord, that was wildly optimistic. Ended up spending 318. A pageant is a money pit and that's all I have to say about it. You can really crunch the numbers, and I do try and really crunch the numbers and be realistic about what I'm going to spend on a pageant, but when it comes down to the week of that pageant, people are throwing things at you and being like, you need to pay for this. Photos, videos, last minute foundation run twice, last minute earrings, last minute alteration. Like there's always going to be something that you didn't account for. Charity, I budgeted £17.50 and that is what I spent. Transport, I budgeted £5 and spent 19 because I forgot I had to take the train into the city. Trips, 0. Social, I budgeted 30 and spent £87.53 because I ended up buying tickets to see Chicago. Drinks, I budgeted 0. I actually spent £11.40, which I assume was the night that the pageant ended, and I sat in the lobby of the hotel in my pajamas until 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, I regret nothing. Coffee, budgeted 7, spent £3.80. Personal development, 0. Unaccounted is a new category I had to add in this month because it all got very chaotic. Pageant weekend is chaos. If you've ever done a pageant, you can probably relate. It's non-stop. It is go, go, go. It is 18-hour days. It is flying from one thing to the next. It is makeup on, makeup off, new shoes, new dress, new hair. It is constant in the most fun way. That sounds like torture, but it is fun. The problem is, like I say, there's always something more to pay, whether it's your morning coffee at the hotel, or it's lunch, or it's you're paying the photographer. It's all these different like expenses. And I did mess up a little bit. A few times I put things on the wrong card and then it was difficult to make the numbers work at the end of the month. I was missing £19.40. I can't account for it. I don't know. I've traced all my different accounts, all my different cards, and I can't figure out where that went. So I'm wondering, did I withdraw it in cash? But I don't remember doing that. I just don't know. And I think considering the sheer amount of money that was spent that weekend, to lose track of less than £20 is not ideal, but it could be worse. Subscriptions was pretty much it. £27, spent £26.99. And then miscellaneous, I spent £2.50. So with all of that, yeah, I went over budget. And you might look at that and think, girl, on pageant weekend month, you only went £47 over budget. That is nothing. And to you, I say, you are very gullible because I'm kind of lying to you. The bigger expenses, like the actual hotel itself, I threw that on my credit card. And so that has come out of this month's budget. So prepare yourself. Sorry, for absolutely no reason at all, I just heard really loudly in my head, welcome folks to the Adams administration. Maybe I need less coffee. Well, welcome folks to the Adams administration, aka April. Okay, so first thing you're gonna see is that I have already played around with these numbers because, like I said, it was a hot mess. And I just wanted to get everything in the spreadsheet because you know I'm not a good multitasker. So for income, I have my money from my part-time job, this £1,190. And I also had £109.35 of side hustle income land in my account in March that I'm now using in April. I just finished doing my tax return this morning, and so with that But I think I'm gonna have one more month of not pulling out of my business account, because it is quite nice to see that money accumulating every month. But I think next month, now that I know don't have any additional taxes to pay, I will start pulling maybe some small amounts from my business account, but let's not do that this month. So we have a grand total of £1,299.35 to spend in April. Now, as per always, we're going to take out £100 for investments in my mutual fund, which, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a chef, I'm not a butcher, I'm not a baker, I'm not a candlestick maker, but my understanding is that if you are not in need of that money within the next few years, if you are like me and you're in the stock market for the long game, just don't look and keep investing. Historically, the stock market has always bounced back. Is it tanking? Hard? Yes, it is. It's not my business. I'm not looking. That's my business in like another 30 years. And by then I think it'll bounce back by then, right? So yeah, I invested another £100. I put £20 into my Christmas sinking fund, £50 into my car maintenance sinking fund, and you'll see this minus £32.81 because I pulled money out of my clothing sinking fund. It's very complicated, just trust me. I paid £200 in rent, i.e. covering the cost to live here. Most of the cost of me living here is paid more in just my delightful personality, because I am a joy, but I do also contribute financially. I paid another £140 off of my Vegas trip, and then we get into what I've already spent of this month's budget, which, as you see, is a lot. I have all of my regular expenses. So that would be my cash stuffing, gym membership, any direct debits, Spotify, that kind of thing. Then we move down to here, and this is where I was spending on my credit card. It's really surprising how quickly that adds up, and that's why I don't put much on my credit card. But I just knew that mentally for me, it's better to have less of a budget this month and subtract that now from this, then allow myself to go further into the negative last month, because psychologically I feel like once I'm already in the negative, it ceases to have meaning for me, and I'm like, well, I may as well keep spending because it's already ruined. I don't know, it makes sense to me. So with that, once I take out all of those things, I have £141.38 to spend for the rest of the month. Wonderful. So let's budget that out, shall we? So groceries, no. We're living lean. Eating out, I know you shouldn't, you can't, don't. No, I won't. I won't eat out. I don't need to put any more money into petrol because I didn't spend my £50 from last month, which, hallelujah. I've got to spend money on my car insurance. I will be cash stuffing as per usual, so that's gifts. Health, why have I already spent £70 on health? Did I put that twice? Yes, I put that twice. Good, that gives us £35 back into the budget. So health 35, beauty treatments, let's cash stuff the 50. I know I keep saying I'm gonna stop getting these nails put on, but I just can't. I cannot. Clothing, I've already spent £41.57. Makeup, it sounds insane because I just bought 3 foundations, but I've run out of foundation that is my actual skin tone. But you know what, I'm going to use my Boots Advantage card points to pay for that, so we're doing 0. No skincare, no hair care, no toiletries, no books, no takeaways, no hobbies. Well, I've already spent £272.22 on the pageant weekend, and I've got 2 dance classes to pay for, which will bring me up to £286.22. So let's put it at £290 and give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. Charity, £17.50. Transport, do I have to go to Cardiff this month? Yes, I do. That's going to cost me £15. Trips, 0. Social, I've already spent 53. I've got bottomless brunch planned this month, which I believe is 35. And then I've got a pageant thing this Friday that's £10. I've got the quiz. £123? Of whose money? Of how? What? How? Lord. Drinks, well, I already had my celebratory wine when I got home. Coffee, let's put that as 5. Personal development 0, unaccounted hopefully 0, subscriptions 27, and miscellaneous 0. Okay, so by that logic I should have £83.18 left over. That seems way too good to be true. That seems not possible. I think the whole vibe of April is gonna have to be don't go anywhere, don't do anything, don't eat anything. Which honestly, March was so stressful and it was so intense. I'm happy to just chill this month and try and claw back my financial situation. And speaking of clawing back my financial situation, something that I really want to focus on more is my side hustle challenge. I was doing really great at it during the summer, and then just the nature of how my brain works, like I find it very difficult to be consistent. I get distracted, I'm drawn to something else, and then my attention is gone, and the initial thing is kind of just like left flailing in the wind. I'll show you what I earned from my side hustle challenge this month. It's pretty underwhelming because obviously my attention was elsewhere, but just so you get an idea of what I made last month. I made £10.96 from affiliate links. I made £2.78 on selling my book. I made £32.64 from my digital products. I made £22.07 from my Etsy shop. And that is it. It's a total of £68.45, which is fine. I think it's actually better than last month. Yeah, last month I made £63.15, so I made like an extra £5 this month. But at the end of last year, I was, you know, averaging kind of like £150 to £200 a month in side hustle income, so it is a big difference. So I think moving forward, I'm gonna try and focus on one area of side hustling per month and see how it goes. What is the benefit to effort ratio? How much does it actually bring in? Like if I'm investing my time and energy in this source of side hustle income, is the payoff good enough? Because previously I've been using just a bit of a chaotic scattergun approach. So this month I'm going to be focusing on selling my clothes on Vinted, which is like a two birds one stone situation because I need to declutter my wardrobe anyway. And then maybe next month I'll really hone in on digital products because that's something that's been quite lucrative for me in the past. And I think if I just re-inject some energy into that, I could potentially make quite a bit more money. And I think if I just re-inject some energy into that, I could potentially make quite a bit more money. And then maybe the month after that, maybe I'll focus on learning a little bit more about affiliate links. I don't make the most of affiliate links. Oh, by the way, the spreadsheet you saw me using in this video to track all of my expenses, I got an affiliate link for that. It's from CoPlenty. I've been their customer for years and now I am an affiliate. And if you use my link, you will get a discount. See, I can do it. So I think maybe doing a more focused, in-depth look at each different type of side hustle is going to be interesting for me. And if you want me to share what I find, maybe I could do like an individual video on each side hustle each month. If anyone cares, if anyone wants to see that. Please remember that I love you all so much. You are enough just as you are, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.